Hey guys, it's Charlotte, and today's video is going to be on the do's and don'ts of going vegan. I've been vegan now for almost 2 years, and I actually went from being an omnivore to going vegan overnight. And I actually found the transition very, very easy. So I'm going to share with you guys a couple of things that I did beforehand and things that I did as turning vegan and while I was a vegan to really sustain my veganism without giving in at all any time of the way and really just thriving and feeling great. This video will go along really great with my vegan 1 month makeover if any of you guys are following it. So if you're following it, these are some tips to really help you sustain the vegan lifestyle, and once you finish the program, to keep on it long term. The lifestyle is so great, and I really want you guys to be able to enjoy it to the fullest while feeling great and looking great. So the first thing that I feel like is so important to say is do make it a lifestyle and do not look at it as a diet. When you're trying to get healthy and lose weight, you should never do anything in a style of a diet, because all that means is that you will yo-yo and gain the weight back, especially with veganism, which is such a lifestyle and transcends into more than just exercise and eating healthy vegan foods. It's so important that you adapt veganism as a lifestyle and you make the conscious decision when you switch over to vegan that this is something that you are going to stick with for life. The next thing that's very important is don't think of all the things that you can't eat, and instead start looking at new recipes and thinking of all the new things you can try and all the foods you can still eat. I find now that as a vegan, my whole taste palette has completely changed, and it's not really that I'm making vegan versions of foods that I had before, but it's more like I'm trying completely new different recipes that taste just as great. And I find that I try a lot of foods now and go to different restaurants, especially ethnic foods, that I never would have tried when I was an omnivore. Veganism isn't at all about restriction. It's totally about abundance and filling yourself with a bunch of yummy, healthy, plant-based foods. Okay, this is what I did before I went vegan, and I would recommend it to absolutely everyone. So do educate yourself before you go vegan. Before I went vegan, I was watching a lot of other vegan YouTubers on YouTube like you're doing right now with me. And honestly, for the longest time, I was kind of like a hater of vegans, and I would be like watching in secret and kind of like judging. But internally, I was kind of wishing that I was feeling the way that all these vegans said that they were feeling, and I was like, why can't that be me? So kind of creeping beforehand and secretly watching as hating kind of made me learn a lot, and it really educated me before going vegan. So yes, like having my vegan 1 month makeover or looking at my vegan videos, looking at other vegan YouTubers, these can be great ways to educate yourself so that you're ready when you jump into the vegan lifestyle. And of course, don't jump into it without knowing anything, because that way you're just kind of prone to fail. So yes, prepare ahead of time. When going vegan, do make sure that you eat enough calories and you eat a bigger quantity of food. A lot of vegetables and fruits and just plant-based foods in general have less calories per quantity, so you actually end up eating more, but sometimes your calories are lower than the food that you would eat as an omnivore. So you have to really make sure that you are eating a big quantity of foods, and if you're feeling you're still not getting in enough calories or you're still feeling hungry, then try to eat more healthy fats and proteins, because that's a great way to up your calories with foods that are kind of denser in calories like avocados and nuts. I've even found as a vegan I can eat more calories than I did as an omnivore without gaining any weight at all. So it's very important that you are eating enough calories since you're allowed to. Like, it's so important for your health, and then you feel so energetic and you're allowed to eat more while being slim and feeling great. Yeah, eat enough calories. And a don't to go along with that is don't restrict as a vegan. Don't go into veganism looking at it as a way to restrict and starve yourself. Look at it as the wonderful thing it is, and knowing that you can eat so much food, an abundance of food, an abundance of calories, an abundance of life. It's just so great. Also, don't go into veganism as a way to try to hide your eating disorder, because veganism is something that can really heal those kind of things, since you can eat so much food without gaining weight and while feeling great. So please don't go into veganism as a way to restrict.
If you come from an eating disorder past, you probably will gain some weight when you go vegan and start finally eating enough food and nourishing your body, and this is because that is just a side effect of damaging your metabolism from starving yourself for so long. But don't worry, that will settle and even out and you will start losing weight, but you just have to pull through and accept the fact that you have self-harmed and damaged your body, and veganism in time will heal that. You just have to go through the healing process, which is nothing to be ashamed of. It is just part of life. That weight gain also is not because of veganism. You will gain that weight back no matter what kind of lifestyle you jump into where you're eating enough food. It's just that it is a consequence from starving yourself.
Okay, a really important one is to make whole plant-based foods the majority of your diet. It's totally fine to have junky vegan foods now and again. Honestly, I am guilty of treating myself a bit too often. But when you make the base of your diet healthy foods, this is really how you're going to sustain your health, your well-being, and really to keep bloating at bay and just to feel your best. For a vegan diet, the most important thing is to have an abundance of healthy, whole, plant-based foods. Something that I still do to this day, and this especially helps when you're first going to vegan, prepare your meals. So I don't even meal prep ahead of time, but even just writing out what I'm gonna make for the day or just consciously thinking about it, or especially when you're going out to eat with family or even just having to go out to eat yourself. The app Happy Cow is so amazing because it shows you all the vegan restaurants in your area. I travel a lot, so that app is literally a lifesaver for me because before I go on trips, I kind of plan out where I'm going to eat, and this helps me make vegan choices and make delicious ones as well, and to find options in the areas that I'm going to be. This also helps with when you're going out with family. There is literally vegan options at pretty much any place you'd go to. Preparing ahead of time and looking at your options that you can have in those places can make it easier, especially for people when you're first starting out and you are more prone to messing up and indulging in non-vegan foods. This will really help make sure you don't do that and you stick on track. Don't go in blind so that you make a non-vegan choice or that you just don't eat. When I hear about people who just don't eat because they think there's no option, when literally there's an option everywhere, that makes me so sad, and it really makes me worry about the person's well-being. Remember that this is for your health, and of course, not about restriction or being so intense that you just don't eat anything at all. Something to go along with that is do, of course, eat what is healthy and whole foods, but also do what works best for you and your lifestyle and what is possible within your means. Don't ever feel like you're not a true vegan if you're not fully raw or any of those things. There's like so many different branches of veganism out there, and you know what? If you're a little bit of all of them, if you're one specific one, if you're none of them, if you're just doing you and being a vegan, doing what works for you, makes you feel your best, and you're getting in enough nutrients and calories and feeling great, then at the end of the day, that is all that matters. As long as you're doing what is best for you and the most you can, you are a true vegan to me, and don't let anybody tell you that you're not. Don't beat yourself up if or when you accidentally eat something that is not vegan. I have been dedicated to the vegan lifestyle for 2 years, but I accidentally have made non-vegan choices now and again. Sometimes, as much as you prep ahead of time, we are all human beings, and sometimes we accidentally forget to ask for something vegan, or we might even look into it and then find out after the fact that there really was fish stock or something in it. I remember one time I was on a trip, I didn't have enough sleep, and I went to Starbucks to go get my mocha, and I usually get it decaf, probably I won't even remember everything, decaf, sugar-free, no whip, 2 stevia, and made with coconut milk. But that time I forgot to ask for it with coconut milk, and I ended up getting like a stomach ache later, and I'm like, what's going on? Why am I feeling this way? And then I remembered, I'm like, oh my God, I think that they put it with real milk and not coconut milk. So don't beat yourself up about that. I've made mistakes. We all make mistakes. Nobody is perfect. And don't feel like you have to just give up everything because you accidentally made a choice that was non-vegan. It happens to the best of us. And we can actually use this as inspiration to look into things better next time, or even just know some things that might be vegan or might not be vegan. Okay, this next do/don't is don't be afraid to explain your lifestyle when someone is offering a non-vegan food choice. Being vegan is nothing to be ashamed of, and you shouldn't be afraid of telling someone why you can't have a certain food. I know that we're always worried people are going to judge us, but just remember, this is a lifestyle that you are sticking with, and you know what? Maybe you telling this person might inspire them to make more plant-based choices. So there is nothing wrong with kindly telling someone that you can't have a certain food, or even letting them know ahead of time that you're going to bring your own meals, or hopefully if they might have something there that is vegan for you to have. There's nothing wrong. Maybe you'll seem a bit picky, but you know what? That's your lifestyle, and if people are gonna judge, their opinion doesn't matter anyways. Those people are probably the same ones cutting out carbs, going on like paleo, or even just on unhealthy diets. So hey, if you're sticking to your veganism, that's amazing, and it's totally fine to explain to someone about your lifestyle. Okay, and one of the last things is to positively inspire and encourage others towards veganism. Lead by example and be positive about the lifestyle. Of course, everyone comes into veganism their own ways, but I personally think that being positive is the best way, and leading by example, showing people how great you feel, is the best kind of vegan to be. So try your best not to be angry, militant, judgmental, or just rude to people who are non-vegan, because unless you were born a vegan, we all at one time were omnivores. So technically, if I'm being mean to people about not being vegan, I am also hating on my previous self. So yes, even if you're really, really passionate about it, try your best to understand others and try not to judge them on their journey. Try to be positive and inspire them, because I feel like that is the best way to get across to people. I do think that activism is great and so important, and there are definitely people in the community that do go about it with a more aggressive, and it totally works for them, but I just personally believe that being positive rules all. Okay, and just a few last things that I have written down on here are some things that might just help you going vegan that aren't really like do's and don'ts. Is watching documentaries. I personally never watched any documentaries before I went vegan, and I haven't watched too many now. I just find documentaries in general can just be like kind of biased, you know, not saying that like veganism is biased, but just some of those things. So I'm not like a big fan of documentaries, but I've had people who like watch like Forks Over Knives, and that's like what totally changed their mind. So don't be afraid to watch documentaries. That can be great, especially going into veganism or helping you along your way. Going to seminars, finding other vegans in your area. I recently joined a veganism group on Facebook for my city, and it has helped me find so many great vegan finds. I thought I knew them all, but heck no, there's so many more than I even knew about. Getting a vegan cookbook, like for example, my 1 month makeover, my vegan version of it, and I'm going to be coming out with a vegan cookbook soon. I myself have bought vegan cookbooks because sometimes you just get stuck and you want some inspiration. So yeah, cookbooks in general are great, and vegan cookbooks, the best. And another thing that could help you is documenting your journey, whether it be in a journal for yourself or even documenting it on social media. Both these things can really help you keep on track, and sometimes sharing it with others can inspire others and inspire yourself to keep going and keep feeling great as a vegan. Okay guys, well that's the end of my do's and don'ts of going vegan. I hope that this video can help some of you guys. Let me know in the comments some of your do's and don'ts of going vegan and what has helped you going vegan. Okay guys, well I'll see you next video, and don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, and turn on my YouTube notifications. I will see you guys next video, and I love you so much. Okay, bye!